After that it was quiet. Frankie was good in that movie, and Frankie hated Marlon, so Kenny hated him too. Gene Simmons was pretty nice, though on the whole he had to say he preferred Vivian Blaine. He closed his eyes. For a while he pictured the fight, Marlon cracked over the head with a chair, Gene Simmons drunk and funny and throwing punches. He wondered if Havana was really like that. His dad would know. Then Big Julie was rolling dice in the sewer, and Nathan Detroit was eating Mindy's cheesecake with a fork. In the morning he opened his eyes when his mom opened the curtains, and he said, "Let's watch Guys and Dolls." "Why not take me out to the ball game? You haven't seen that one yet." "Is Frankie in it?" "Of course," she said. Chapter 2. Harriet and Lou. 3 nights later, the slow, searching sound of a taxi came up the wet street and stopped directly below Kenny's window. A door slammed, the taxi pulled away, and then Lou Gold was heading up the steps and Kenny was heading down. His sister was on his heels. Their house was 2 stories high and made of yellow brick. The wood trim in the hallway was American chestnut, a tree wiped out by blight in the 1920s. What remained of the old forests was inside. Everything outside had come inside, even the movies. The banister Kenny never bothered to hold on to was American chestnut too, golden brown in color, but the steps themselves were white pine from the forest of white pine that used to grow where this house was standing. Lou's grandfather had built the house in 1928. After he died, it passed out of the family until last spring, when the grandson, Lou, had the pleasure of buying it back. Lou came through the door, and then what a tangle of big and little limbs there was. What a scene of affection. He looked so tanned and light-hearted, so eager and beloved and beaming, that Harriet, standing in the living-room doorway, couldn't resist. She said, "Something unpleasant happened while you were gone." "Donya," he smiled, reaching over the kids to take into his arms his northern-eyed, meatless on principle, strangely yearning wife. "I've missed you," he said, and the gift, wrapped in a piece of newspaper in his shirt pocket, got pressed a little flatter. It was late, a Sunday night, but Lou could tell by the look in Harriet's eye that she was still under the influence of her Friday night movie. A certain distancing look she directed his way that made him feel he was blocking her view. "You're a better door than a window," he heard her thinking. "Why don't you sit down and remove your hat?" Then she would be alone again with Sean Connery, or Gene Kelly, or Jeff Bridges, or Cary Grant. The list was endless. He had been gone for 2 weeks, to distant parts, and she had spent it with, who was it this time? A glance at the video box on top of the TV gave him his answer: Frank Sinatra and Gene Kelly and Take Me Out to the Ball Game. How could a man compete? Maybe this would bring her back. "I have something for you," he said, drawing the gift out of his pocket. By now the kids were tucked back into bed, and they were alone in the living room, Harriet in the rose-colored love seat, Lou in the black wicker rocking chair. Nearby, in this room where everything was well-used and old, stood a lamp with a cockeyed shade. Lou unwrapped the newspaper and laid the tip of a fern leaf, underside facing up, in her lap. It was like the tip of a spear, or a large arrowhead, its own tip broken off and the surface patterned with a series of black lines, arrowheads again, one laid into the next, a most beautiful design. "No 2 spore patterns are the same," he said, now that he had her attention. Her eyes, suddenly bright and appreciative, fastened on him, and she waited for the rest of the story. Outside, it was snowing all over again. Large flakes, drifting down through the yellowy glow of the streetlight, melted away on the dark.